Welcome to part, Jesus Christ, 22 of Free Will Summer, where today we are watching Event Horizon. Rest in peace, Sir Sam Neill, childhood legend. But that aside, this is a movie with a huge cult following. I mean, this was an absolute box office bomb. It tanked, and apparently it's pretty divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it. And I think I am going to be in the camp of loving it, or at least liking it, because this seems right up my alley. So let's hit play on Event Horizon. Well, that was a little bit stupid. That was an over-exaggeration because I do think it's actually an interesting movie, but I wish it was better and I wanted to like it more than I did. I think I'm between two extremes here because I didn't hate it like some other people hate it, but I didn't love it like some people love it. For me, most of the issues with the movie can, I think, go to one point, and it's that the clashing tones of the movie are about as distracting as this current lighting situation is in this very video. Green final answer. It felt like this movie had an identity issue because, it was part, like a fun sci-fi action movie that's, horror themed. Almost kind of like 13 Ghosts, how it's part, comedy and part horror. But it was also trying to be, disturbing horror. And I think if it went fully for that, disturbing, creepy, legitimately scary sci-fi horror, it would have been awesome. And if it went for, the goofier tone, like 13 Ghosts, that would have been less cool, but also good. I would have much rather it be, ultra gory, fully, scary. I would have liked that a lot better, and I feel like if they really went for it, it would have been so much better. Something I've heard other people say, and I really do agree, is it steals things from other movies, and it's basically what if we had The Shining, but it took place in the Nostromo from Alien. And that's pretty awesome, and it should be a lot better. Also, the bits about a character seeing hell, and the lady with no eyes. You know exactly what that reminds me of. I don't care if it came up before or after. If your movie has anything in common with the Lazarus Effect, it automatically goes down a star for me. It went from a 7 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10 like that. Joking aside, the character Dr. Weir's, moment with the eyes was cool. And I like the overall concept, and, I'm gonna spoil here, so spoiler alert for a, 30-year-old movie? I just looked it up, it's 29 years old, and keep in mind that the age of the movie, because that will be relevant later, because this movie, I think, has a chance to redeem itself. Keep that in mind. We'll get to that later. But anyways, I like the idea that, different things in the ship, because it's evil and it's, I guess, been to hell, it can reach into your mind and pull out your, trauma and make you experience it. That's actually a really cool idea, and, there's other ideas like that I like in this movie, for example, Lawrence Fishburne's trauma of, the fire and stuff in space, and how that impacts his character as to why he would go out of his way to save the other crew members. And his, whole fire and space thing is actually really cool. My problem is that his character and Sam Neill's characters, trauma visions, were the only ones that were interesting and tie back into the plot in the third act. The other characters in the movie were just kind of useless and stupid. They had, no relevance. There's that one dude who gets, stuck in space, and that is actually the potential to be really scary and cool. At one point that ship explodes, and that dude is sent flying into space, but he doesn't explode, and he has to, make his way back to the ship and inside. But it's played for laughs, You're on your ship that came from Earth, going to a haunted, abandoned giant ship, and like your home ship explodes, and you are sent flying into space, into the infinite dark void, of space, which is horrifying, and you have to find your way back where there's no gravity or anything to grab onto. And you're trying to make your way back to like a haunted ship where like people are like dying and stuff. And it's played for laughs. That's a movie plot in and of itself, and it's a joke. There was that other forgettable character who just happens to know Latin, which the people on the ship that were being killed just happen to speak, and he just happens to speak it and just so happens to know that it's Latin and know what they're saying. But this movie has really cool imagery and ideas. I love the idea of them using the power of a black hole to fold through space and, deep space travel. That's really cool. And that it tears a hole through space and through reality and goes into hell is awesome. Except it uses the fantastic screenwriting tip. That famous saying, tell, don't show, obviously. And, I really like the thematic relevance of the fire in space. And it's cool. I really like that. I like the idea of the ship going to hell and then bringing back, like crazy stuff. And, I would have liked to see that happen. And, the way Sam Neill's character describes it, hell is just a word. And then we see these, flashes of, super gruesome images. And that's really cool. I love the concepts here. But it doesn't execute it very well. And so, it's a frustrating movie. Also, the final scene, I don't even know what that was, but I thought that was dumb. It has these awesome ideas, and honestly, I think it would work better as a book. And I kind of wanted it to lean into more of the dark, lonely void of space. Or the idea and overall vibe of finding something that you were not supposed to find. Like, this ship you were not supposed to find, and it's just the horrific things that could have happened on this. I think we would have a much better movie if it fully leaned into that cosmic horror. And here's where I wanted to get into maybe the most interesting part of this video. How we can fix this, because I think there's a way. Think about it like this. Next year, 2027, will be 30 years after the release of the 1997 film Event Horizon. What if they release the original version of this movie for the 30-year anniversary, and they release it in theaters for, I don't know, maybe just a limited run, maybe just a week. Or they can make it a big marketing thing and make, millions of dollars. The lost, better version of Event Horizon that you never saw. And then you can release it to streaming for everybody in the world to watch a superior version of this film. So if you don't know, Event Horizon was originally supposed to be a lot gorier, ultra-violent. And so they basically cut out all the cool parts of the film and neutered it so it could be rated R instead of NC-17. And real quick, the difference is somebody over 17 can buy a ticket for somebody under 17 to go to a rated R movie, while with an NC-17 movie, it's nobody that's not 17. Think about it. It would be a great way to honor Sam Neill. It would celebrate the 30-year anniversary. It would be an opportunity to update the horrible CGI. You have pretty much nothing to lose by re-releasing it, and the millions of dollars to be made by releasing the director's original vision. Please. And while we're on this subject, I think this is actually a rare movie that, for all you Hollywood businessmen watching, which I know you are, watching my YouTube channel with 150 subscribers. This could absolutely use a remake. You know, for all the Ghostbusters 2016, for all the Moana, for all the Crow. This is actually a movie that could really use a remake. Commit to everything this movie didn't. Make it ultra violent and gory. I don't know if the MPA regulations have softened or something, because I recently watched all the Evil Dead movies, and they're still making movies like the 2013 remake, Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Burn, which are ultra gory, and those are rated R, so if you can make something on that level, it's almost excessive. In conclusion, this movie does have great ideas, but I don't think it fully commits to it as much as it should. It's fine, but it should have been way better, and I want that remake and re-release. Or please, at least just the re-release, please. Alright, ranking time. I know I forgot to in, I think it was the last video, Evil Dead Rise, but whatever. This list is getting pretty big. And y'all know about that. Y'all know about my last two. And then, of course, at Chapter 2. And Event Horizon, I'm so sorry. I definitely want this to be, like, around here. And it devastates me to put it at 19, but I'm sorry. Then the first Evil Dead, Hoppers, Mothman Prophecies, 13 Ghosts, which mogs Event Horizon. The plots are kind of similar, but 13 Ghosts does it so much better. Then we have Ready or Not 2, Evil Dead 2, Child's Play, Saw 3, They Will Kill You, Evil Dead Rise, It, Saw 2, Army of Darkness, Saw X, Evil Dead Remake, Ballerina, How to Make a Killing, and Hereditary. Yeah, this has been my review of Event Horizon. I'm a little bit disappointed. I wanted to like this way more, but it is what it is. And all we can do is continue watching more movies, so that's what I'll do. So stay tuned. I don't know how many more of these are gonna actually be posted before August ends, but this ain't your free will summer, it's mine. Yeah, as of me recording this, it's still July. But yeah, that's it. I'm ending the video. Little disappointing. Here's a meme. No. Wait. Wait.